بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. We will complete the second component of the time series. ففي البداية تكلمنا عن الترند كان شنو؟ كان أول component من التايم series. In this section or in this chapter we will talk about the second component that called the seasonal variation. So first of all, we will talk now about the types of the seasonal variation. فإذا أول شيء بنتعرف عليه هما شنو؟ هو types of seasonal variation اللي هما شنو؟ أنواع seasonal variation. We have here two types. This is the first type. This is the second type. The first type called constant. Okay, ثابت. The second type called increasing. So if it was constant, that means it is additive seasonal variation. And if it is increasing, that means it is multiplicative seasonal variation. So we have two types. The first type is constant, اللي هو الثابت. That means if it is constant, it is شنو؟ additive seasonal variation. هما نفس الشيء بس عندها شنو اسمين؟ constant seasonal variation أو هي شنو additive seasonal variation. And the second type is increasing or multiplicative seasonal variation. شلون نعرف اللي هو نوعها؟ علشان نفرق ما بينهم نعتبرهم كأنهم نمط. مثلا لو كان عندي النمط we have 1 then 3 then 5 or we have 1 2 4 8 60. Then here you will see from 1 to 3 كم زادت؟ it is increased by how much? by 2. And then from 3 to 5 كم زادت؟ it is increased by also 2. okay. لو كتبت هني مثلا from 5 to 7 from 5 to 7 it is also increased by 2 and so on. okay. فإذا مقدار الزيادة وش فيه؟ ثابت. مقدار الزيادة ثابت. فهي plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 زادت 2 زادت 2 زادت 2. إذا we are increasing by شنو؟ by 2. add 2 so it is شنو؟ additive. and this 2 is what? is constant. هي ثابتة. إذن شلون عرفت إن هي constant؟ لأن 2 is what? is constant. it doesn't change. and how we know it is additive? because we add each time we add شنو؟ we add this constant 2. okay. that's why we say that it is constant or additive, because we add a constant. okay. add a constant. now the second type from 1 to 2 you will see that it is increased by how much? by 1. then from 2 to 4 it is increased by how much? by 2. then from 2 to 8 it is increased by شنو؟ by 4. from 8 to 16 it is increased by 8. so this change is not fixed. ففي البداية قلت 1 عقب صارت 2 عقب 4 عقب شنو؟ 8. so it is not fixed إن هي not fixed أو ببساطة أقول هي شنو؟ not constant. هي مو ثابتة. فإذا هي شنو؟ هي قاعدة تزيد. it is increased من 1 ل 2 من 2 ل 4 من 4 ل شنو؟ ل 8. so هي شنو؟ هي increasing. okay. من 1 إلى 2 هاي ضربت في كم؟ multiplied with 2. from 2 to 4 multiplied with شنو؟ with 2 and so on. so it is شنو؟ multiplicative. so now we can decide okay which one is constant which one is what is increase. فبهذه الطريقة مثال بسيط يعلمني شنو الفرق ما بين ال constant وما بين ال increasing. So it says here if it is in constant that means the size does not depend on the level. فإذا حجم seasonal variation ما يعتمد does not depends mean لا يعتمد على شنو؟ على الليفل إلى time series. بينما السايز إلى seasonal variation depends يعتمد على الليفل إلى time series. فإذا السايز ما يعتمد على الليفل في حالة الكونستنت والسايز يعتمد على الليفل في حالة شنو؟ في حالة increasing. Okay, so this is about the types التعريف. Okay, الحين يقول لي شلون لو جيت بشتغل على هذه التايبس. زين يعني ابغى افرق ما بينهم بالرسم او ابغي اشتغل على السيزونال فاريشن بصوره عامه، ابى اعرف هو موجود او مو موجود، شنو نوعه، شلون اشتغل عليه. You will talk 3 questions. First question was will be do we have seasonality? This will be the first question. Do we have seasonality? Then the second question will be what type of seasonality? And the last question will be how to model. How to model. So if we have these graphs we will ask ourselves, do we have seasonalities? We will go for the first graph, okay, and we will check. Do we have seasonality? Seasonality, how we check for it? We check for a repeated pattern. For short term. For short term, okay? So we will go for the first graph. We will check. Do we have repeated patterns? You will see that the patterns is for this is repeated. قاعدة تتكرر. So we have here a repeated pattern in this graph. هي قاعدة تعيد نفسها. Okay, التايم this will be I don't know if it is days or months. Okay, but it is a short here from 0 to 20, from 20 to 40, I think days. Okay, so it will be it has repeated pattern short term, so it has it has seasonality. We will check for the second plot. Okay, do we have repeated pattern? This is the question. Do we have repeated pattern? Yes, we have. شلون we have هي قاعدة هذا الباترن exactly the same, but this pattern is moving to be increased, but it is the same it's the same pattern. So we have repeated pattern for short term. Okay, so this was the first question. Do we have seasonality? Yes, we have, because we have a repeated pattern for short time. Then what type of seasonality? So types we will decide if it was a constant or if it is increasing. How you will choose? You will draw a parallel lines, parallel lines. Okay, you will go and draw a parallel lines at the two graphs from here and from here and from here and from here. Okay, we draw a parallel lines. Then what we will do, if they are parallel, exactly parallel, okay, not connecting, okay, so these lines are parallel, not connecting, and the space is equally likely. المسافة متساوية ثابتة. The space is شنو؟ is constant، ما قاعدة تتغير. والخطين ايش فيهم؟ exactly parallel، بالضبط شنو parallel. So we call this graph شنو؟ we call it constant or additive. because شنو عندي البارallel lines وبيكوز المسافة بين الخطين ثابتة. Okay, the space between the lines is equally likely. Okay, هني قلنا شنو أول شيء؟ I bring a two parallel lines. If they are not connecting, the space are equally likely. Okay, they are parallel, so it is شنو? It is constant. Here بنروح إلى الرسمة اللي عقبها. Here you will see the space is شنو؟ is increasing. المسافة قاعدة شنو؟ تزيد. The lines they are not parallel. Okay, المسافة فيها تزداد بين الخطين. المسافة قاعدة تزيد ما بين شنو؟ ما بين الخطين. The lines they are not parallel. Okay, so it is شنو؟ increasing, or you can say that it is multiplicative. شنو؟ seasonal variation, because the space going to شنو؟ increase and the lines are not parallel. Okay, so we answer the second question. What type of the seasonality؟ شلون عرفناهم؟ عن طريق lines اللي رسمناهم. Now you can see, okay, about how to model. How to model? You can model like that. If it is constant, okay, if it is constant, then just go and work on the model. Okay, if it is constant. If it is increasing, okay, you have to change it to constant, then go and work on the model. Okay, so if the type was constant, so nice, go and work on the model. But if the type was increasing, you should change it to constant, then go and work at the model. Here they say that the method, okay, or the process that will change the seasonal variation from constant to increasing, that calls a transform. What it's called? It calls a transform. So when you will change the seasonal variation from constant, you will make it to increasing. So it will be at a process named transform. So this transform, we will call it a power transformation. Why? So you can put here tick, because we know how to model. So power transformation, we call it power transformation هذه البروسيس اللي يتغير من الكونستانت إلى increasing because شنو y of t وش نسوي فيها؟ أحط عليها شنو power. we call power transformation لأن ال y of t بنشوف إن إحنا بنحط عليها شنو power. like here exactly. y star of t, why we call it y star? because it is a new شنو new time series. new time series. then the new time series is what? is the old time series with the what? with the power lambda. فإذا شلون سويتها نيو؟ خذيت القديمة حطيت عليها باور وهذا الباور سميته شنو؟ لامدا. هذه اللامدا الفاليوز بيكون إليها شنو؟ الرينج مالها from 0 to 2 from 0 to 2. so if it will be 0.5 لما تكون 0.5 النيو واي اوف تي بتصير شنو؟ جذر الواي اوف تي. لما تكون 0.25 بتكون الجذر الرابع إلى الواي اوف تي. لما تكون 0 it will be ln of what? of y of t. you will see that this and this are commonly used. okay, you will use them a lot. then here we say that we said that the lambda equal to 0. it is approximately. why it is approximately? because we assume that it is equal to 0 if the value is very small. if the value is شنو? is very small. okay, yeah. so we learn here in this page about the types of the seasonal variation and the transformation. now we will talk about the modeling. the modeling will talk about two types of شنو? of modeling. okay, modeling constant seasonal variation. so we will talk here about شنو? about the modeling constant seasonal variation. why we say that it is constant seasonal variation? ليش قلنا بنسوي modeling للconstant seasonal variation؟ لأن we did the modeling only at the constant. if it was increasing وش نسوي فيها؟ first transform أحولها إلى شنو؟ إلى constant. then you will did the what? the modeling at the constant. فإذا ليش قلنا modeling constant seasonal variation? because if it is constant we will do the modeling, but if it is increasing we will do the transformation, then we will work at it as a constant seasonal variation. okay, then in the case of constant seasonal variation the trend and the seasonal variation are independent. so we know that the trend and the seasonal variation at the time series فيهم independent. فإذا عرفنا إن الترند والseasonal variation في التايم سيريز هم independent منفصلين عن بعض. so we will write the model as independently يعني separately. so here the y of t اللي هي شنو؟ اللي هي time series. you will see that the trend t معناتها a plus b t plus some code for the seasonal variation, then the e t, the what? the error. okay, then we said here at the beginning that the repeated pattern it is short term. that means it is شنو؟ it is a year. الشورت term يعبر شنو؟ عن سنة. We said that before already. Okay? Yes. So method number one. Method for the what? For the modeling constant seasonal variation. فأول طريقة إلى الموديلينج بسميها شنو؟ بسميها الدمي variables. فإذا الموديلينج باستخدام الدمي variables. فإذا method number one, we will do the modeling for the constant عن طريق شنو؟ عن طريق أو باستخدام الدمي variables. It is very easy. We will say that if the data are recorded monthly, لما تكون الداتا عطيني إياها بالشهور، أوكي؟ بشنو؟ بالشهور. معناتها إنه بيكون عندي 12 seasons، أوكي؟ ف if the data is monthly, we will have the شنو؟ we will have 12 seasons، okay? If we have a monthly data. So how we will define the dummy variables with 12 seasons? It is very easy. You will go and say MI. Why we choose MI? Because monthly. M for monthly. I is the number. I is number of of the month. If it is January, you will write 1. If it is February, you will write 2. If it is March, you will write 3, and so on. Then you will write 1 and 0. 0 always you will write otherwise. But if it was 1, okay, فال1 شنو بنكتب فيها؟ بنكتب if t is season I. هذه season I أبدلها بشنو؟ باسم الشهر. You will change it with the name of of the month, okay? فإذا season I we will change it بنغيرها the name of the month. Then you will see here M1, okay? M1 that means that means it is January. You will write 1 and 0, then 0 otherwise ما تتغير. Then if T is هي season I غيرتها باسم الشهر اللي هو January. And for the February you will do the same, and for the other months you will do the same procedure. Then cancel one of the dummy variables and name it as a reference season. For example, cancel M12. شنو معناتها هذه الجملة؟ معناتها I have a 12 seasons, right? I will choose, or the exercise will choose for me to delete any of the seasons. فأني بحذف السيزن اللي أنا أبغى أحذفه. Another person will delete the season he will need, okay? Or the exercise will delete for me a season from their mind. فإذا الcancelling أو reference season إيش فيه؟ على حسب السؤال أو أي season أبغي أبغي أحذفه. يعني لما ما يحدد لي في السؤال أنا أحذف من عندي، الثانية تحذف season من عندها، الثالثة تحذف season ثاني، okay? So الcancel إلى dummy variables it depends, okay? I choose which one I want to delete it. So this one I deleted, I name it with the reference season. فأسميه أسميه reference season. ليش؟ أنا بنستخدمها عقب شوي. Then consider the regression model. عقب بنكتب الموديل، عقب ما أحذف reference season بكتب y/t اللي هي time series للترند. Okay, I will write the model of the trend. إذا المعادلة اللي موجودة عندي ما أنساها. الترند موجود في التايم سيريز، أكتبها في الريجريشن موديل. Then you will write this beta 1. this هذه هذه coefficient. هذه coefficient يعني number with M1. then beta 2 with M2 plus. Why we didn't write M12? Because we deleted. It is the reference. Okay, this is the reference. الريفرنس ما اكتبه في وين في الريجريشن موديل معادلة الريجريشن. ف if I delete M1 I will not write it. If I delete M2 I will not write it. Like this. Then I write the error. So here we write beta 2, beta 1, beta 11. Here البيتاز ما أنساهم. They are numbers. They are coefficients. Okay? Yes. They are important. And we will write on them an interpretation. We will write on them an interpretation. How? We choose here, for example, beta 1. We will write for it, we will write for it the interpretation. But all the coefficients, the same procedure, you will write the interpretation. Beta 1 greater than 0, so it is positive. But if beta 1 is less than 0, that means it is negative. Okay, فإذا البيتا 1 لما تكون لما تكون greater than 0 بتكون بتكون positive. But the beta 1 if it is less than 0 بتكون بتكون negative. Then شلون نكتب interpretation? We will write the interpretation like this. After excluding the trend, the level of the time series in January. Why we write January here? Because it is beta 1. So if it is beta 1, we write here January. Beta 2 بنكتب February. So this will change with what? With the betas. Beta 11 بنكتب November and so on. Okay? So this all fixed ما يتغير. Except January, we will change it with the betas. Then is expected to be higher than. Why we write higher than? Because it is positive. So beta 1 greater than 0 positive. Here we will write higher than. Okay? Of the time series in December. Here why we write the December? It is the reference. If my reference January, I will write here January. If my reference is February, I will write here February. So this will change with the exercise, with the reference, okay? I write here December because my reference is December, okay? For the negative, for the less than 1, it's the same. After excluding the trend, the level of the time series in January, قلنا January because it is beta 1. I can change it with the betas, beta 2, beta 3. Is expected to be lower than. Why it is lower than? Because it is negative. If it is negative, I write lower than. Of the time series in December. Why we write December? Because it is the reference. If the reference is something else, I will write the month of the reference. Okay? Okay, we will complete here then. Yes. So here we already talked about what? About the modeling constant seasonal variation using dummy variables. خذينا أول طريقة كانت لما يكونوا data monthly. Now we will talk about it if the data are are quarterly. إذا لما الداتا يكونون quarterly. How if the data are quarterly? يعني شنو الداتا quarterly? Quarterly يعني بيانات موسمية أو اللي هي بيانات فصلية. يعني quarterly يعني أقسم السنة إلى إلى 3 أشهر كل موسم. فإذا بيكونون عندي 4 مواسم. كل موسم فيه كم؟ في 3 شهور. اوكي، فلما اقسم السنة الى 3 اشهر بيصير عندي 4 seasons if we have 3 months in each season. So this is the meaning of a quarterly. This we have 3 months in every season. That means we have a quarterly data. We have a 4 seasons. Okay, we will define the dummy variables for each season. We note it by Q because of quarterly. Okay, I is the number of the season. Okay, so here we have 4 seasons, so we have 4I. It's the same, 1 and 0, and the 0 will be always otherwise 1 if T is season I. Season I will change with the exercise. How? Season I, if the seasons defined at the exercise as a month, like this, from January to March, or from April to June, I will write it like this. But if the exercise write it for me as the summer, spring, and so on, I will write them like this. Okay. Or if the exercise write it as season 1, season 2, season 3, I will write them also like this. Okay, so I will change it with the exercise. We will talk about example 1. Q1, that's mean the first season. Okay, the first season as the exercise, I will write 1 and 0. 0 always otherwise. And 1 if T is, and I would change this. March is January to March, because the exercise for me write it like this. Or if they write it as a season 1, I write it as a season 1. Okay. For Q2, we will write season 2, اللي هي from April to June. And 0 is otherwise. It's the same procedure when you need to define dummy variables for the monthly or for the quarterly. It's the same, mainly the same. Then the cancelling or the reference season, exactly the same. You will choose a dummy variable and you will cancel it. For example, they cancel here for me Q1, but you can cancel any season you want. Okay, you can cancel any season you want. Then consider the regression model. The regression model, we will write the trend model first. We should write the trend model, then we will write the seasonal variation. Seasonal variation, here we start from beta to Q2. Why? Because we delete Q1. So we start from beta to Q2. But we can cancel beta 2. If we cancel beta 2, we will write Q1. Okay? Then a plus ET. Okay, so this is the seasonal variation with the trend from the what? So this is the time series with trend and seasonal variation. If we write the seasonal variation with the dummy variables of a quarterly data. Some note, you can write the same interpretation for the coefficient. The same interpretation, we talk about it here. Okay? Yes. We will go for now the exercise. The exercise says the table gives the monthly average of occupied The table gives the monthly average of occupied rooms in the hotels that are operated by Travelers Rest Inc. over the past 14 years. That means from this we learned that we have the data are recorded monthly. So we have 12 months per year. So the data are recorded monthly. But we have 14 years. So you will write T equal 12 for year, but we have 14 year, so we have T is 168. So the T will be 168. 8. 1 6 8. So here the t. So we have here the data. These data are شنو t 168. This the y with the t. Then you will read the second statement. From the given time series plots, أعطني plots, answer the following questions. We will answer the following questions. Okay? So, what type of seasonal variation, يبقى التايب اللي خديناهم التو تايب, appears to exist. فيبقى نوع السيزونال variation اللي موجود عندي. So we will go and look for the plots. Here we have t and y. So this is شنو التايم series الأوريجينال. Here t with square root. This is with transform. Here with the natural logarithm. So here also transform. With the quartic. So here also transform. So if you need to check the type of the seasonal variation, you will go for the original time series. فإذا لما أبغي أتشيك نوع السيزونال فاريشن، المهم عندي جدا إني أرجع إلى شنو؟ أرجع إلى التايم سيريز الأصلية. بهذه الطريقة راح أتعرف على شنو؟ على نوع التايم سيريز. أما أروح إلى الترانسفورم ما راح أتعرف على نوعها. So here we will draw the lines. Because ليش سيدة سألت نفس السؤال الثاني؟ لأن السؤال الأول إنه do we have seasonal variation؟ هم already قايلين لي إنه yes we have. فالسؤال الثاني شنو النوع؟ الحين هم يبون النوع. فالنوع عن طريق شنو؟ أرسم التايم series. So we will check for the parallel lines if the space are increasing or not. You will see here the lines I draw, they are شنو becoming more, becoming شنو longer. So it is شنو, it is increasing. The space are not شنو, not fixed, not constant. Okay, so we have these lines also, they are not exactly parallel, and the space are also شنو قاعدة تزيد المسافة. So so one we will write شنو increasing seasonal variation. Why we write it as increasing seasonal variation? Because the space is increasing, it is not fixed, and the lines not exactly parallel. Okay, exercise 2. Is there a need for a transformation? هل احنا محتاجين الى transformation علشان نحصل constant seasonal variation? If so, يعني لو احنا محتاجين حددي نوع الترانسفورميشن. So number 2, is there a need for a transformation to obtain a series with a constant? بما أني كتبت في السؤال الأول إن نوعها increasing, of course I will write here yes. ليش؟ لأن إحنا قايلين في البداية إن هي increasing. فهو قال لي هل تحتاج إن هي تصير constant? Yes. We need شنو؟ transformation. الحين قاعد يقول لي شنو هو نوع الترانسفورميشن اللي نحتاجه. We will check for these graphs, 3 graphs. Also we will draw the lines here for and here. Okay, they are, I think they are parallel but not يعني it is, they are parallel but you can say here المسافة اللي هني أكبر من المسافة اللي هني. أوكي، ف they are شنو؟ بعد مو مضبوط، لأن this space في البداية and في النهاية إيش فيها؟ not exactly the same. They are not exactly parallel. We will check the second graph. We will check for here. This one is clear. This graph, it is clear. They are not the same space. عدلولا. So this one also it's not very good. We will check for the last graph. Okay, we will come and check. It's the same. Okay, they are parallels and the space inside is the same, and the beginning and the ending is what is the same. So this is very good at transformation, a very good transformation. Which one is the natural logarithm? Okay, the best two parallel lines. So you can write here شنو نوع الترانسفورميشن، لأن قايلين شنو نوع الترانسفورميشن. I write that it is the natural logarithm. The natural logarithm. So we choose it as the natural logarithm, and here they did the natural logarithm. Okay, they did the transformation as natural logarithm. Okay, so they did here, they write شنو y star. So this is the new y of t. Okay, فالاوتبوت والشغل اللي بنستخدمه كله على النيو واي اف تي، على الواي اف تي اللي سويت لها ترانسفورميشن من الاصليه. اوكي، and it is شنو، it is الواي ستار of t هي شنو، هي log الواي of t، هي log شنو الواي of t. And here you will put in mind that the reference is شنو is M12. الريفرنس شنو هو M12. فكاهو مو موجود في شنو في الريجريشن كود. Okay, so this output for شنو this output for y star of t, not for y of t, it is for y star. Yes, and here you will see the coefficients and the estimate and something else. Here this for شنو for the trend, and the others for شنو for the seasonal variation. Okay, here you will see that we have something called F statistic, and this is the value of the F statistic. The F statistic is a test for over all the شنو the model، يعني على الموديل كامل بصورة عامة. Okay, it's not specifying for something, it is شنو it is general على الموديل كامل. So here on 12 and 155 ليش قلنا هاي الطريقة؟ لأن it is شنو because 12 it will be شنو it will be هني عندي كم أنا عندي كم coefficient how much it will be هني 11 11 12 13. Okay, then 13 minus 1 it will be شنو 12. Okay, but if you take 155 it is the n minus the number of شنو of coefficient. شلون n168 minus the number of coefficient اللي هما كم؟ اللي هما 13. it will be this one 155. Right? Yes, this is the number of coefficient minus 1, and this is n minus number of coefficient. These called the degrees of freedom. These called what? The degrees of freedom. And this one is the p-value. This one is the p-value for the f-test. You will know it exactly at this box and at the exercise. Okay, it is very easy. If a statistic is based on degree of freedom number 1 هي الكوفيشنت minus 1 اللي حسبناها هني, and degree of freedom اللي هي new 2 اللي هي n minus coefficient number of coefficient اللي حسبناها هني. Okay, النل hypothesis اللي هي h naught تقول لي all coefficient excluding or expect ال a اللي هي الانترسبت are 0. فأحط كل الكوفيشنت اللي عندي ما عدا A وأقول إنهم يساوون 0. Then you write the alternative. شلون أكتب الالترناتيف اللي هي H1 at least one coefficient not equal to 0. So H1 at least one coefficient not equal to شنو to 0. This is H1. Okay. شلون نقبل ونرفض؟ If it is less than alpha, we will reject the null hypothesis. If it is شنو less than alpha, p value أقل من الألفا. Okay. If we reject, that means the model is good. The model is significant. Significance means شنو mean important, means it's good. There is a statistical support that mean عندي دليل إحصائي يقول لي ترى هذا الموديل is fine, is good. Okay, so this is the explanation of f-test. الحين إحنا اللي نبغى نعرفه في المسائل شلون راح أحل. فاللي عرفته من هذه الصفحة إن الأوتبوت هذا اللي موجود عندي إلى الداتا السابقة اللي هني سويت لهم natural logarithm transformation وطلع عندي هذا الاوتبوت, وهذا الاوتبوت يتكلم عن شنو؟ عن الترانسفورميشن. هي الترانسفورميشن اللي هي واي ستار. التي ترمز الى الترند. اوكي, فالموديل موجود فيه ترند ما ننسى نكتبه. اوكي, so we will go now to solve the exercise questions. Now consider using the natural logarithm transformation اللي استخدمناه في المسألة as the response variable and use the R output or any other output. Okay, فاحنا لما نقول R output لأن في الشيت محطوط R output, بس ممكن تكون SPS or Excel or Minitab output of the regression model to answer the following questions. So we will use the transformation and the output to solve the equations. Now the question number 1 says, we can change it because it is very dark. So is there a statistical support? If they write is there is a statistical support, احنا قايلين that mean we need to test. We need to test لأنه يسألني عن دليل إحصائي. يعني من وين راح أجيب الدليل الإحصائي؟ من التست, من الاختبار الإحصائي. Okay, so is there a statistical support? أعرف إن I will do some testing for the fitted model على الموديل كامل. overall, مو احنا قلنا overall التست شنو هو؟ الاف ستاتستيك. فلما يقول لي ان ترى على الفيتد موديل يعني على الموديل بصورة عامة overall model I will choose شنو؟ I will choose F test. I will choose شنو؟ F test. Okay, I will choose F test. At 5% level means 0.05 is the alpha. We will write, okay, we will solve the exercise here. It is exercise 1. اوكي احنا عرفنا ان احنا راح نستخدم شنو الاف تيست because it is overall. بس اهم شيء اني اكتب شنو؟ اني اكتب الهايبوثيسز. اني اكتب شنو؟ الهايبوثيسز، لان التستنج بدون هايبوثيسز دايركت غلط. اوكي so you write beta I is equal to 0. Okay, I from 1 to 11. Okay, so all the betas I have them from 1 to 11, but don't miss to write the B because the B also at the model. Okay, then each one says that at least one coefficient not equal to 0. فإذا each not اللي هي null all the coefficient except A بدون A equal to 0. بس في H1 هني ما كتبت A. ليش؟ كتبت B والبيتاز لأن القاعدة تقول لي إن بدون A بدون الانترسبت. في H1 كلهم هذولين اللي ذكرتهم على الأقل واحدة منهم ما تساوي شنو؟ ما تساوي 0. Then the test is very easy. شلون؟ I will bring the P value. If it is less than alpha, I will reject. The P value you will go and check it at the at the output. Here it is this one 2.2 E minus 16. That means 2.2. Okay, مضروبة في 10 أس minus 16. So it is very small. It is يعني 100% أقل من 0.05. So you will write for me here yes alpha اللي هي P value less than 0.05. Yes it is. So you will write if it is فاحنا قلنا ان هي اقل من 0.05. So you will reject H not. You will reject the null hypothesis. So this is the answer for 1. We will go for 2. So when we finish it, write out the definitions of the dummy variables M8 and M11. This one is very easy. You will just write the definition of the dummy variables. How? You will write here for the exercise. You will write M8 equal. You write 1 as 0. 0 you will write other wise. And 1 you will write FT as 8 أي شهر August. You will write here. That's it. You will write FT as and you will write here the month. 8 that means it is August. Then you write M11. It's the same. 1 0 0 you write other wise. Then 1 you write FT as 11 November. Okay, that's it. This is how you will define the dummy variables and you will write them. Okay, this is how you will write them. Okay, number three, identify the point estimate. Identify mean read the numbers from the output. فايدنتيفاي the point estimate إلى الكوفيشنت إلى الدمي variables M8 و M11. فشلون بعرف البوينت estimate من اللي هم الكوفيشنت؟ I will go to the output. M8 الكوفيشنت مالها أكاهو and M11 الكوفيشنت مالها أكاهو. So if they told you that to identify the point estimate of the coefficients, يبقى البوينت estimate إلى الكوفيشنت أطلعهم من شنو؟ من الأوتبوت. M8 الرقم اللي صوب M8 هو الكوفيشنت حقها اللي هو بيتا 8 وهذه بيتا 11. You will write them. Then for give an interpretation, okay, for the coefficient of the dummy variables M8 and M11. الانتربريتيشن اللي خديناها في هذه الصفحة أكهو this one, this interpretation you will write for M8 and M11. It is easy. I'll write them here for you. Okay, you will write for M8 first. After excluding the trend, the level of the time series in August. Why we write it as August here? Because it is M8. Because it is M8. Then is expected to be higher than the level of the time series in December. Why here we write higher than? Because beta 8 is greater than 0. And why we write here December? Because the reference is is December. Okay, then you will write exactly the same for for M12. You will write after excluding the trend, the level of the time series وش فيه N November. We write it here November because we have M11. Then is expected to be lower than. Why we write lower than? Because beta 11 is less than 0. Lower than the level of the time series and December. Why we write December? Because it is the reference season. Okay, so this is the what? This is the interpretation, how you will write it for the coefficients. then so we finished from 4. We left with 5 and 6. They are the same. They are the same. اللي هما 5 and 6. Calculate the fitted values or predicted values. معناتها شنو؟ نفس طريقة الحل. بس هذا يبقى إلى الواي هات 168 وهذا يبقى إلى الواي هات 170. بس نفس طريقة شنو؟ الحل. So we will go and solve them. You will see here for 5, okay, y hat star, okay, اللي هي التايم سيريز عبارة عن a plus b في 168. اوكي أعوض في الريجريشن. مو ما يبون الفيتد values. معناته شنو؟ معناته أعوض في المعادلة عشان يطلع عندي a number. Okay, this number is the fitted value. Okay, so I'll put a plus b, then I'll write the t plus, okay, m12. ليش m12؟ لأن 168 ديسمبر. اوكي ف 168 يصادف انه هو المانث شنو؟ ديسمبر. اذا I will do plus m شنو؟ m12 beta 12. but هني this beta 12 m12 I don't have them because they are the reference. So the model will be just the trend. So I will substitute by a and b, then I will calculate it. I will be y. I will have y star 168. It will be شنو 6.7462. But at the exercise they need y hat 168. So how you will calculate it? This is what? This is log of شنو of yt. Then I need it is y star of t. عدلولا y star of t, it is the log. Then if I need y of t, I will do what? The exponential of y star t. So here you will do the exponential for 6.7462. And the value will be 850.8. That's it. This is for exercise 5. 6 is the same, but at 6 okay, at 6 you have y hat star 170. You will do the same, a plus b 170 plus 170 بصير أي شهر. احنا مو قلنا 168 ديسمبر. then 169 بصير شنو January. 170 will be شنو February. So I will add it with beta 2 m2. Okay, this how we do, because 170 is a February, so February is شنو b2. Okay, I will substitute by A, B and beta 2 only from شنو from the output. It will be equal to 6.63958. So y hat star إلى 170 6.63958. Okay, so if I need y hat 170, I will go and calculate the exponential for y hat star 170. The answer will be 764.7737. Okay, so this is the answer. So I calculated as normal, but at the last answer I take the exponential for it. Okay, فهذه الخطوة مهمة. لما يقول لي يبي بس الواي هات، إذا يبي الواي هات ستار إلى هني ويخلص الحل. But if they ask to y hat, we need to do this step. Okay? Okay, for the last exercise here, okay, for the last question, test the errors. Okay, we will did the testing to the errors for positive autocorrelation. For what? For positive autocorrelation at 5% level, so alpha will be 0.05. If the corresponding Durbin-Watson statistic is this, so they give me D 1.190, okay? They give me D. And they give me the lower and they give me the upper. بس مجرد هم يبون يسوي شنو؟ التستنج. هذا الدرس شنو؟ هذا درس الدوربن-واتسون statistic. So how you will solve this exercise? You need to what? To write the hypothesis. So exercise 7. First you write the hypothesis. H0 اللي هي R1 equal to 0. H1 اللي هي R1 greater than 0. Why? Because it is a positive autocorrelation. So positive, that means it is greater than 0. Okay, after you write the hypothesis, you go and test. How you write the line, we learn to write it. The positive, that means it's from 0 to 2. Then you write here D lower, D upper. D lower, الدي lower هي كم؟ هي 1.6 والدي upper هي 1.9. Then okay, then you will write here for me the D. الدي تساوي كم؟ الدي is 1.190. So I will bring it اللي هي شنو؟ here. It will be here 1.190. Okay? So في الرسمة هذه المنطقة منطقة شنو؟ منطقة rejection. It is شنو؟ It is a rejection region في الرسم اللي خديناه. You will write the answer. You will write we must reject the null hypothesis. Okay, so there is positive first order autocorrelation in the errors. Okay, so this will. Okay, we'll continue about the method number 2. Now we finished from exercise the dummy variables. Here you will take the second method 2 of the modeling constant seasonal variation. It's called using trigonometric terms. So you will use the sine and the cosine. Okay, what's mean of trigonometric terms? That means you will use the sine and the cosine. Okay, this method will talk about the data if they are very regular or if they are complicated. So you will look for the data. If the data are regular, they are simple, you will take this step. If they are complicated, you will take this step. How? They say that you have in this method something called L seasons. What's mean L seasons? L seasons is the number of seasons or اللي هو months. Okay, so if you have a quadratic data, that means you will have L equal 4. عدلولا. If you have monthly data, you will have L equal شنو 12. Okay, so L, it depends on the seasons. So if you have quadratic data, you will have L equal 4. If you have monthly, you will have L equal 12. Then the modeling will be y of t equal trend. الترند اللي هو a plus b t. This is about the seasonal variation plus some error. السيزونال فاريشن شنو هو الكود مالها او شنو هي الفورميلا حق التريجومنتريك terms. You write beta 1, then you will write this all. Beta 2, then you will write this. So sine 2 pi t over L. الباي اللي هي 3.14 plus beta 2 cosine 2 pi t على شنو على L. But if the data is complicated, you will write شنو second you will write second term. فبعتبر هذه الدورة الأولى عندي 2 pi. Then you will write the second term الدورة الثانية. You will write 4 pi. If you will need for a third term, you will need دورة ثالثة. You will write 6 pi and so on. فإذا if the data are very regular, you will write it as 2 pi. If they are complicated, you will write شنو 2 pi and 4 شنو 4 pi. And you will have beta 1, beta 2, then beta 3, beta 4. And don't miss the trend. Okay? Yes. Then we will go for the exercise. With reference to the monthly average of occupied rooms in the hotels that are operated by Travelers Rest Inc. given in the previous exercise. إذن الداتا حق السؤال شنو اللي قبل. Consider using the second trigonometric model. يعني اختاري شنو second model. This model. You will use this model. Okay? Then you start with the output. الأوتبوت يقول لي ترى هو الواي ستار. يعني this output شفي for y star of t, not yt. Okay? t حق الترند. Then this is the model اللي هو second model اللي هو إلى 4 pi. يعني we have 4 betas. Okay, so this is the beta. This beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, beta 4, and this is A and this is B. Okay, and this all the output. Then you go and read the exercises. Okay. Okay, use the corresponding output. So we will use the output to answer the following questions. The question says calculate the predicted values. احنا قلنا predicted values اللي هي y hat 170 هي مجرد شنو تعويض في وين في الموديل. لكن نلاحظ ان هني هي الواي هات والاوتبوت حق الواي هات ستار. فاذا ابي واي هات 117 انا عندي واي هات 170 ستار. فاذا شنو فهني بيكون عندي نفس اللي اتعلمناه في السؤال السابق. شلون؟ we will write the answer now. You will write here, okay? You will write here y hat star, okay? y hat star 170 شنو بتكون a plus b. البي اللي هي t شنو 170 plus. You write the complete code يعني beta 1 we assign إلى 2 pi t على l and you would substitute by beta 1 then sine 2 by بعوضها بال 3.14. T I will put 170 and the L you will put شنو 12. Why? Because the data are فيها monthly. And you will write plus cosine blah blah blah. Okay, you will write the whole model and you will substitute in it the answer. So the answer will be 6.63958. Okay, this is the what? This is y hat star, but we need y hat 170. It's the same. We will write exponential of y hat star 170 and the answer will be 764.7737. Okay, yes, this would be the answer. So this is exercise 1. Exercise 2, it will be calculate the 95% confidence interval. So they need the confidence interval for y. It is not y hat, it is y. Y, it is not par, or it is, you write it y 170 like this. If the standard error of the y star, okay, 170, this is the SA, standard error. So this exercise, you will write this formula. Always, if you need to calculate the confidence interval for the coefficients, okay, for some point, you write it like this. You write the confidence interval. If you need to calculate it, you will calculate it, estimate plus or minus critical value multiplied with the standard error. فإذا هذه اسمها شنو critical value. يعني من وين؟ من التيبل. يعني من وين؟ يعني من التيبل. Okay, then it will be here. It will be y hat star plus or minus. ليش y hat star 170؟ لأن احنا قاعدين نشتغل على الستار. plus or minus الكريتيكال فاليو مضروبة في الستاندرد ايرور. then y hat star هي نفسها اللي طلعتها في السؤال القبلي اللي هي كام؟ اللي هي بتكون 6.63958 plus or minus 1.96. This will be the critical value. Okay, you can find it. Multiply with the standard error 0.0126. Okay, you will do the two parts اللي هي بالماينس وبال الجمع. You will find 6.6 okay 14884. I write it down. 14884. Yes, 6.664276. Okay, this would be the calculated. Okay, so this would be the 95% confidence interval for y hat star 170. Then you will do the exponential for 6.614 884 and 6.664276. Then you will find that it would be 746.1182 with 783.8957. So you take what? You take the exponential for each number. You take for exponential for this number, you will find this number. You take the exponential for this number, you will find this number. And this will be the confidence interval for 170. Okay, without start. Without start. And here without hat. Yeah. Okay. So this will be the end of for this exercise. You have here note, you can read it. You will see that this y, it's a what? A mean value. Okay? And this is the formula for it, here. This is the formula. And you have point estimate and point forecast. And these are what? These are just the values. So here you have range. And here you have just a value, specific, single, time, point. Okay? So, yes, something else about the value, okay? About the z value. Why we choose why we choose the critical value to be z? Because because t it's a 168. That means it's greater than 30. So if it is greater than 30, you will use z table. If it is less than 30, you will use t table. Okay? So it will be z alpha على 2 because it is what? It is interval. So it will be z 0.025. So it will be z 0.025. So you will write, here, you will write here, okay, z 0.025. Okay, and here the what? This space. So it'll go 1 minus 0.0225. It would be how much? It will be 0.9. Yeah, it would be 1 minus 0.025 to be 0.975. Okay, then you will take this number, go and search for it at the table. Okay, we will go for the Z table here. We can find it. Okay, Z table here. You can go and search for 0.975. It is here. Yeah. So you can find it is 1.9. Then you will go here. It is what? It is 6. You write 1.96. This is how we find the critical value from the Z table. Okay. Yes, this is the last thing here. Here you can, this is the last thing for the exercise. Here you can find the code for the R output. Okay. This, I put a line here for you. It is what? It is the log of Y, how you can write it at the R. Okay, here the data, how you enter it, here the data, here the plots, how they draw the plots, here how they write the code for what, for the dummy variables, okay, and everything about the Durbin-Watson, about the confidence interval, and yeah, this is the code. If you can read it. It's not important, I think. This will be the last thing at this section, okay? So, thank you.